Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to one and all present here. We are sorry for the delay. We had some technical issues, so we are extremely sorry for that. Once again, a very good morning to one and all present here, and a very early morning to our chief guest and keynote speaker, Professor Mohammad Iqbal Asaria. We welcome you to one-day online international conference on Horizon in Commerce, Management and Economics, a way forward, organized by Maharashtra College of Arts, Science and Commerce in collaboration with Kala's Research and Skill Training Organization, Vijaypur. I, Kutsia Virani, the host for the conference today, hope that we all are able to pave our path forward in the arena of commerce, economics, and management post-COVID-19. How has COVID changed the world of commerce? This conference, I hope, will open our eyes to the various vistas available to us. Now I call upon Professor Inamur Rahman for Kirat.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la ta'kulu amwalakum bainakum batil illa an takuna tijaratan taradin minkum wa la taqtulu anfusakum إن الله كان بكم رحيما ومن يفعل ذلك عدوانا وظلما فسوف نصليه نارا وكان ذلك على الله يسيرا. O you believe, do not consume one another's wealth unjustly or unlawful. Business or transaction should be going on with mutual consent, and do not kill one another. Indeed, Allah is to you ever merciful. And whoever does that in aggression and injustice, then we will drive him into fire, and that is easy for Allah. Sadaqallahul Azim.
Thank you, Professor Anam, for enlightening us with the beautiful verses from the Holy Quran. Now I call upon our principal, Dr. Sirajuddin Chogle, to deliver the welcome address. Siraj sir.
Thank you, Professor Kutsia. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace, mercy, and blessing of Allah be with you. A warm and eventful good morning to one and all present over here. On behalf of Khairul Islam Higher Education Societies, Maharashtra College of Arts, Science and Commerce, and Dr. Rafiq Zakaria Center for Postgraduate Studies and Research, Mumbai, along with Kala's Research and Skill Training Organization, Vijaypur. I take this opportunity to welcome all the guests, participants, students, and audience for this one-day international online conference on Horizons in Commerce, Management, and Economics, a way forward. At the onset, let me thank Professor Muhammad Iqbal Asaria, Chief Guest and Keynote Speaker, for the inaugural session, for accepting our invite and joining us early in the morning from London. We also have with us Dr. Badiuddin Ahmed, Dean and Head Department of Commerce, Maulana Azad National Urdu University from Hyderabad, and Dr. Gurunath Phagre, Principal Srimati Gangabai Shivraj Kanaya Mahavidyalaya from Kolhapur. We have participants who have joined from Malaysia, Australia, the Gulf, and from different states of India. A year has gone by and the world has been grappling with COVID pandemic, and we are yet to, we are not yet over with it. Work from home and work online is the byproduct of this particular pandemic. Academicians and students the world over has adapted to it like the duck taking to water. The founder of Maharashtra College were committed to bringing higher education to the doorstep of the marginalized, especially the girls. That dream seems to have materialized, as currently of the 4,300 plus enrolled students that the college has, 70% of them are girls. Our students are excelling not only in academics, but also in cultural and co-cultural activities, in sports, in NCC, and various extension activities. They have been representing the college and the state of Maharashtra at the national level in sports, and the NCC cadets have been selected for Republic Day parade in New Delhi, which in itself is an honor to the student, the college, and the state. Maharashtra College, completing its golden jubilee in 2018, is striving to excel in all spheres of functioning. The college has been leading from the front when it installed the rooftop solar plant in 2017 and was recognized and awarded by various institutions, environmentalists, and the society. The college believes that practice the concept of outreach programs by participating in healing process for flood, cyclone, and COVID affected people in the society. The college provides the students with conducive environment to explore their potentials, to take that under the mentorship of the faculty. Currently, apart from regular UG courses, we have added PG and research courses in 3 subjects each and striving to add more. The college is continuously on the move towards progress. The students also have approached the opportunity to get going with the entrepreneurship skill and ideas under the incubation cell called CARE. The committed faculties are spearheading the college along with the students to bring laurels and keep marching ahead. Concluding my speech, I would like to congratulate the entire team, both from Mumbai and Vijaypur. The conveners, Dr. Abdul Majid Ansari and Dr. Sirajuddin, the organizing secretary, Professor Abdul Aziz Arab, the coordinators, Professor Mazhar Thakur and Professor Abdul Rashid, and the entire team, including their technical team associated with organizing and hosting this conference successfully. Wishing the best to all participants for the entire day programs. Thank you. Jai Hind. Over to Kuchria Madam.
Thank you very much, sir, for always providing us with the much needed motivation to move in focused and organized manner. Thank you, sir. Our keynote speaker and chief guest for today, Professor Mohammad Iqbal Asaria. Professor Mohammad Iqbal Asaria is a special advisor on business and economic affairs to the Secretary General of Muslim Council of Britain. He was the governor of Bank of England's working party set up to facilitate the introduction of Sharia compliant in the UK market. Mr. Iqbal teaches various subjects like Islamic finance, accounting, banking and insurance, Islamic finance and banking at various institutions like London Institute of Banking and Finance, Bangor Business School, and Durham's University. For the last 14 years, the Afkar Group has been organizing the annual Takaful Summit in London with providers from Takaful, which is Islamic insurance industry. He has been awarded CBE in Queen's Honor List for the services to international development in the year 2005. Professor Mohammad Iqbal Asaria, please welcome. Over to you, sir.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Honored guests, hosts, Professor Sirajuddin and Professor Sharik Nasir, thank you very much for dragging me to this event to give you the my few words of wisdom, if I may call it that, as a keynote to this auspicious occasion. From what I have studied about the college and its different parts, which Professor Sirajuddin has summarized, I can see that this is an institution which is more needed now than ever. There are two aspects of it which make our hearts warm up. The first one is that it is dedicated to empowering minorities. And the second one is that within that, it is dedicated to empowering women as much as possible. And I'm glad to see that women from these communities are achieving higher and higher levels of merit and achievement in the society. However, we find ourselves at the moment in very challenging times. Now, to give you a little bit of background of myself, our family originally hails from Gujarat and went to Africa about 150 years ago. And then we came from Africa to the United Kingdom in the 1970s, when Idi Amin decided to expel all the Asians. So we have been here now for 50 years. We still have our hearts in India, and we visit and we work with different parties and groups in India. So I'm a little bit familiar, not as much as you, with what is happening. As I said, we are going through challenging times internationally. As you know, the pandemic plus the changes in technology, changes in business patterns, geopolitical rivalries in the region where you are with India and China and the United States and other parties, re-evaluating what is going to be the relationship. And this will have implications for India, of course. Nationally, within India, the vision of a secular, plural, and tolerant society, which was the founding vision of honorable people like Dr. Rafiq Zakaria and so on, is being challenged increasingly. Now, one of the things which worries me is that we have very similar issues in the UK as you would have. And we have been looking at this for a number of years, but now in the post-COVID times, these underlying problems have become magnified manifold. We have a person who has led this challenge. 10 years ago, he published a report called the Marmot Report. In the Marmot Report, he showed that certain groups, minorities, certain deprived groups had a life expectancy of up to 10 years less than other parts of the country. And he showed that this was because of deprivation, discrimination, and so on. Last month, he published another report, and he showed that the impact of COVID-19 on minority and deprived communities has been much more severe than on other communities, which follows through from the pattern which we had. So I've been thinking back how these kind of findings can be applied to the situation in India. And going back to my files, I came across the Sachar report. As many of you obviously would know more than me, the Sachar report itself showed that there was institutional discrimination in many parts of the country. Institutional discrimination is not easy to correct. It needs dedicated effort and research to do that. So my submission would be that as one of our objectives for the college, we should begin to unearth the implications of the Sachar report, update it with current happenings over the last 20 years since the report or more, since the report was launched, and see what kind of research is needed to correct this. Because institutional discrimination affects minorities much more and affects women amongst the minorities even more. So it's really a core part of the college's objectives, I would say, in this sense. So COVID-19, whilst it has its very damaging implications for everybody, also provides an opportunity to air these subjects in a little bit more systematic and research-oriented manner, which is where your mission is. The thing which is happening is that, as you know, technology is moving on. And I have looked at your summary of papers presented at your last colloquium, where many of these themes, e-commerce and others, were taken up. But it was early. We didn't yet take up the full implications of this change. Now that the momentum has increased, we will see in places like India the full implications. Here, the question is how to grow equity and fairness rather than just grow. I remember very clearly that we had a meeting with Dr. Manmohan Singh at that time, the South Center in Geneva, before he became finance minister, not prime minister, but finance minister. And we were discussing the small group of people to say that he told us that he had been offered the finance minister's job, and the mission was to actually liberalize India and also try to remove the constraint of the license Raj, as we call it here. He was saying, my concern is that can we deliver this agenda with equity? Or will it only empower a small section of India's population? And after a long deliberation, we came to understand and agree that if, as was evident at the time, this path would lead to the uplifting of, say, 300 million people in India from abject poverty, the effort was worth it. But as the growth increased, equity did not keep pace. And so we had the increase in marginalization and impoverishment of larger sections. Now, this trend can be greatly accelerated if we adopt technology and its possibilities without equity considerations. So I submit that for the college, a big part of the research effort would be to see how to build in equity and justice in the changing technological scene, especially as regards women and other marginalized communities, because otherwise they will end up at the bottom of the heap, and then that could lead to populism of a very dangerous kind. So we need to really make our contribution to that at this point in time. The next point I want to make is that I was looking at this question some time ago. I haven't revisited the figures recently, but in countries where minorities have been successful, they have always excelled in education. Now, this is part of the college mission, I know. But if you look at nationally, the proportion of Muslims, for example, in the elite institutions in India, like the IITs, IIMs, the top medical colleges, and so on, in my reckoning, is about maximum 2 to 3%. Given that the proportion of Muslims in the overall society is 15 to 20%, we are far behind. So we need to figure out what does it take to get our students, especially women, into these institutions and contribute to the national agenda. These are research questions we can handle. And this then underpins our effort to empowerment, to empower our communities as much as we can. Now, finally, we come to my subject. I think that there has been a lot of work done on waqfs in India, and we have a very rich heritage of waqfs. We know that waqfs are now in law, inalienable in perpetuity, so nobody can take them. Okay, they can sit on them, they can do all kinds of things, but ultimately we can get it. I think one of the big research questions we need to do is to document these waqfs. A lot of work has been done on that by some of the upper house committees over the years. And we have some good research on how to get a handle on that. To take the example of Singapore, a number of small waqfs had become so valuable that when the community started to develop them, they contributed enormously to the well-being of the Muslim society. I'm sure that in India, the waqf's contribution, especially to alleviating or providing for a social safety net for the more deprived or more underprivileged sections, could be very beneficial. So I submit that instead of looking at the wider Islamic finance, let us look at how these waqfs can be brought back into public control, not ownership. Ownership is given, but control. A lot of them have been controlled by vested interests and so on, and how we use the resources to empower the community. And finally, whilst the COVID pandemic has given a lot of very grim news to us in terms of the impact on the number of deaths, loss of livelihood, and so on, it has also made possible to increase our horizons on what can be done online. And as you see now, you have international audience participating in a seminar. Normally, if I wanted to do this, I would have to come to India just for half an talk and then come back after here. I can now spend 2 hours getting up a little bit earlier than normal, and everybody can benefit from our interaction. I think this is a very challenging development. Now, it can be taken further because as technology advances, perhaps the college should also look at something akin to the open universities which we have across the world to increase their outreach to sections which may not be able to attend on-campus courses, could deliver blended learning to a wider section of our societies and target audiences, which may help us upscale our vision much more faster. And lastly, if we do not do some of these things to create justice and equity, however much we try, we will not be able to create environmental stability because resource use comes with possibilities. Deprived communities have not got many more choices to conserve resources. Let's apply ourselves to how to do it. Professor Sirajuddin has already talked about the solar roof which you have, and you will have many more, but it needs a very, very systematic effort to see where we can go and how we can do it. So I hope with these few words, I have laid out what I feel from outside. I am not pretending to know more than you about the situation and the possibilities and the challenges in India. But wish you all, and I would like to say that I am available to help you, assist you in any way I can. Salam alaikum and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for making this a remarkable beginning to the conference. I now call upon Professor Arab Abdul Aziz, sir, to express our gratitude to chief guest and keynote speaker.
Here. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On behalf of management, principal, vice principal, IQAC coordinator, members of faculty, students of Khairul Islam Higher Education Societies, Maharashtra College of Arts, Science and Commerce, and Dr. Rafiq Zakaria, Center for Postgraduate Studies and Research, Mumbai, and management and organizing committee of Kalas Research and Skill Training Organization, Bijapur. And on my own behalf, I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to Honorable Professor Muhammad Iqbal Asaria, a visiting professor at London Institute of Banking and Finance, an expert in Islamic banking, finance and accounting, and takaful, for being the chief guest and keynote speaker of today's occasion. Sir, for volunteering your time and efforts in honoring the one-day online international conference on horizons in commerce, management, and economics, a way forward, by your insightful and stimulating thoughts and impeccable presentation. Please accept thanks and appreciation from these institutions. I'm convinced that you are extremely talented in your field and can link your knowledge beyond expectations of the recipients. Your talk was very well received by a huge audience and it saw everyone captivated by the presentation. I find the whole area of your expertise is truly fascinating. We are also thankful and appreciate the spirit of inspiration of Principal Dr. Sirajuddin Chogle of Maharashtra College, Mumbai, and Mr. Sirajuddin Horangi Namani of Kalas Research and Skill Training Organization, Bijapur, without whose support and encouragement, it would have been impossible to organize this conference. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Professor Aziz. Now I call upon Professor Misbah to introduce our guests of honors.
Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to everyone. Now I would like to welcome our guest of honor, Professor Badiuddin Ahmed, former Dean, School of Commerce and Business Management, also former Head Department of Commerce, Manu, Hyderabad. Sir has 27 years of experience in breakout line as faculty for graduate and postgraduate courses, teaching courses that is MBA, MCOM, and MFA. He has 85 international publications, 50 national publications, 12 articles in books of repute. Around 15 students were awarded PhD degree under his sound guidance. He has received nearly 15 awards. To list few of them, he was awarded with the Time Achievement Awards from World Research Council, RULA, CRAFTS, Innovation Society of India and Center for Educational and Social Development, Rashtriya Gaurav Award, Best Social Scientist Award, and many more. So now I call upon Professor Badiuddin sir to address the conference.
Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible? Yes. Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
At the outset, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, all the participants and the keynote address, Dr. Professor Iqbal Asaria and Professor Sirajuddin Sahab and other organizers of Maharashtra College of Arts, Science, Commerce, and Kala Research and Skill Training Organization, and other members of this international conference being organized today on the topic, very contemporary and very useful, that horizons in commerce, management, and economics, which is a very core subject as today's world. As I was hearing to Professor Iqbal Sahab, who is an expert in the area of finance and banking, I have a few words to the conference audience and participants regarding today's topic. The world is accelerating at an unprecedented pace. The rapid development of the new technologies, increasing transparency, and the availability of data is providing a unique opportunity for government and the private sector to come together to drive sustainable development. In the last century, advances in science and technology have certainly been fast and exciting and have contributed to significantly improving human life conditions. In particular, the e-commerce platform contributed massively in improving the quality of human life and bridging the spending pattern gap between the rich and the poor. E-commerce is no longer limited to generate most of its revenue from the big cities in future. Rural share in e-commerce revenue generation increasing by the day by day. This is because the trend of online shopping is equally spreading in small cities and villages. And the technological advancement in these rural areas have made the spread of digital commerce possible beyond the and big cities. This now calls for business to adopt an international approach to ensure global accessibility. The global business model calls for expanding and strengthening our online presence outside cities. Let me also mention that 73% of customers use multiple channels during their purchasing journey. This means that e-commerce business need to know how their customers buy and what channels and medium they love to engage with. Greater the number of channels they engage with, more is likelihood of increasing the average order. Payment gateways such as Google Pay, Paytm, PhonePe, and other came in handy to boost online purchases. Everyone, including the rural lot, found these payment gateways very convenient to make online transactions. These payment gateways, fortunately, were accepted by the masses without any apprehensions. Success of online shopping and the truth gained by payment gateways prompted government to add public utility services such as electricity and water bills and other fees and into their ambit. As far as economics are concerned, it is after the initial hiccups of digitalization, demonetization, and GST, followed by pandemic, the economy is now on the path of growth. Despite there is a the negative impact of the economy, the GDP, but now slowly it is picking up. In this view, technological progress should be seen as innovation engine to foster more efficient business models, services, and products. Through the implementation of responsible and robust development processes based on fair competitiveness, equity, and environmental friendliness. Hence, the new horizons in commerce, management, and economics must be inspired by the principle of sustainability in support of better life and equity between haves and have-nots. I wish this conference would deliberate on the various issues of commerce, management, economics, and the paper presenters. I congratulate them, the paper presenters, for coming with different ideas, and they will be definitely deliberating on this issue today. I wish this conference a great deal of success. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be a guest of honor for this occasion. Thank you so much for the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for gracing our event. I now welcome our second guest of honor, Dr. Gurunath Jyotiba Phagre, Principal of SB Khare Mahavidyalaya, Kopade, Kolhapur.
Hello,
Sir
sorry, your voice is not getting.
Am I audible, sir?
Not it.
Now, sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are very much audible, ma'am. Maybe sir has some problem with his network issue.
Yeah, okay. So now, I again welcome our second guest of honor, Dr. Gurunath Jyotiba Phagre, Principal of SB Khare Mahavidyalaya, Kopade, Kolhapur. Sir has 31 years of experience in breakout line as he has completed his graduation and he has done his MCom in accountancy, MPhil in marketing, GDC and PhD in finance. He has 15 national and international publications, 17 books in writing, 13 books in accountancy. He has received award in NAC Assessors, Distinguished Service Award from Ames International, Permanent recognized as research guide at Shivaji University, Kolhapur. So now I request Dr. Gurunath Fagre to address the conference.
Thank you, madam, for my enlightening introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Good morning to all. We are virtually come together in this one-day international conference on horizons in commerce, management, and economics, a way forward. At the outset, I would like to express my gratitude towards the organizing team of Maharashtra College, particularly my friend Principal Dr. Sirajuddin Chaugle, the authorities of Kala's Research Organization Vijaypur for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this conference as a guest of honor. Present situation is that we are still locked down since last year due to COVID-19 pandemic. The world economy has frozen to zero, recording negative growth in GDP. Everything is in the state of static standstill position. We don't have any alternative but to look and observe horizons around us in order to find some rays of hopes in such a dark situation. From this point of view, I would like to bring forward few rays of spectrum in terms of commerce management and economics to discuss upon in this conference. We know that an adversity is an opportunity to an entrepreneur. For example, nano car is the outcome of this this kind of opportunity. Tata saw 4-member family was traveling on a scooter, trying to escape themselves and find way in the crowd of the vehicles, and he came out with the nano car to solve this problem. And Tata came with the nano car, and the Gujarat state grabbed this opportunity to establish this project. Same way, the COVID-19 pandemic brought new business avenues such as production and selling of or marketing of masks, sanitizers, quarantine facilities. Some doctors booked the hotels to provide the medical facilities to the affected people and made a huge business in it. E-commerce, online marketing reduced it reached it to remote villages, crossing the boundaries of cities and towns. Also, it widened the product range from electronic to the hair and beauty products. Logistics services also changed its means and ways. The State Transport Corporation converted their buses to the transport of goods. Public transport is yet trying to re-establish its services. Even government has paved the way to find more income by way of taxes on diesels, petrols, leading to reach its price to cross rupees 100 per liter. Online banking increased its to its highest level. Healthcare and insurance have gained more importance. Even teaching learning process has been witnessing new concepts of online teaching, supporting the distance learning, capturing lectures, video recording, editing, launching it to the YouTube, Facebook, has made its place in the process of teaching, learning, and evaluation, paving a way of new business. A concept of work from home emerged in our profession also, and we compelled to work from home in the teaching learning process also. Of course, it is another way or another subject of study whether this online teaching reaches to the remote places or all the students. That will be a matter of discussion. Tourism, hospitality, and business of happiness made entry into rural market at far remote villages also. In the way of these different difficulties, and to overcome those difficulties and to come out successfully, various innovations and ideas have been paved way for new business avenues and for the management to create required human resource and to carry out these new concepts on innovations as a business. We are to check validity, feasibility, and profitability of those concepts with the help of certain expertise, and those expertise may be made available, and the business avenues to such expertise have been paved the way. Then an expertise to look after legal aspects such as GST, different laws like corporate law or labor laws, etc., and alternatives about risk. Also, we are to make alert ourselves about the restricted products and goods, services also. The business opportunities in the field of food processing and agri-based activities has paved a new way. Water and soil testing, accounting, taxation, then consultancy. These are the few horizons that we can view in the near future. This conference would have detailed discussions and deliberations on it to come out with definite new business ideas to boost the static world economy. Over to Chowgule sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Professor Shanti to express our gratitude to the guest of honors.
The best events aren't just memorable, they aren't just beautiful, they accomplish a goal. Thank you, Professor Badiuddin Ahmed and Dr. Gurunath Jyotiba Phagre. Sirs, you have set the ball rolling for the conference. As we are gripped by this pandemic and live in a constant flux, we thank you for your enlightenment and insightful addresses, which make us hopeful of a great commerce, economics, and management across the horizons. We hope this conference opens up more on e-commerce and its development and how it is affecting every part of our lives. I thank you very much, and I pass the mic to the host for the continuation of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Shanti. Now I call upon Professor Mazhar Thakur to give the guidelines to the participants for the technical sessions. Professor Mazhar Thakur, over to you.
Thank you, Kutsia ma'am. I am Dr. Mazhar Thakur, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Maharashtra College. I would be briefing to you about technical session. As you all know that our one day online conference. Theme is very broad. Horizons in commerce, management, and economics. We have received more than 100 full papers. In order to accommodate all of them, we have made 4 tracks. These technical sessions, there are 2 technical sessions before the lunch and 2 technical sessions after the lunch. Track 1A and track 2A would start immediately now and would go on till 1 p.m. And after 1 p.m., we have got a short lunch break. Then at 1:45, we start the next session, that is track 1B and track 2B. These sessions would work simultaneously on Zoom platform breakout rooms. Each track has got a technical resource person and an assistant. Track 1A, technical resource person is Professor Shaukat Ali. Professor Misbah would be assisting Professor Shaukat. Track 1B, we have got Dr. Antara Sonavane as a technical technical resource person, and Ms. Fareen would be assisting Dr. Antara. This would go until 1 o'clock. 1 to 1:45, we have got a lunch break, and 1:45 onwards again we start 2 simultaneous technical session. 1B, Dr. Arvind Dhon and Dr. Ashfaq Khan as technical session expert. Abdul Rashid sir would be assisting them. And 2B, we have got Dr. Noman Khatib and Dr. Umesh Kolimat. Advocate Sundus would be assisting them. As far as guidelines are concerned for presenters, each presenter would get 5 minutes to present. A gentle reminder after 4 minutes. Each presenter must rename themselves, track number, space, their name, so that we can send them to respective breakout rooms. And one small request to all presenters that please summarize yourself in 5 minutes. We have got large number of presenters after you. Thank you so much. Over to you, host.
We will now begin with the technical sessions. The rooms are breaking out. The further instructions are being provided you in a minute. In meantime, I request the participants to please rename their names so that we can allocate the proper rooms to them. You will receive a notification on your screen to join groups. Please join the group. Please click on join. I once again request the participants to please rename and start joining so that we can begin with the technical sessions.